Hi, I'm Tracy Sharman, and welcome to CTE Know Before You Go. CTE stands for Career and Technical Education. And here at Vancouver Public Schools, my job is to bring career-related experiences to our middle school and high school students. Today's guest fits right in with CTE's mission, which is to provide high-quality, hands-on learning that prepares students for their post-secondary education and career choices, whether that be an apprenticeship, starting a career, or starting their university. Welcome, Karen Foster.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Tracy.
Can you tell me what department you're with at Clark College?
Yes, I am the Community Engagement and Outreach Manager for a program called Guided Pathways. So my job and responsibilities is to really find ways for us to be more intentional on our engagement in our community. And how are we working with students? Working with students from underrepresented communities, working with our students of color, and working with all students to really engage and make sure that they know that Clark College has a lot of different career opportunities for them. And so we have different initiatives working with K through 12 and other programs like Next Success with students that are 16 to 24, and just helping them really define a career path, but then also looking at the organizations and different things in the community. So career opportunities, so jobs. How can we make sure that our students at Clark College can find jobs right here in our community? What partnerships do we have in the community to make sure that our student pathways are leading to careers for them in the community?
I think the Next Center is such a cool such a cool place to be. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what Clark does for their outreach there?
Yeah, so Next Success is an organization that works with students, or young adults rather, from 16 to 24 years old. And so they work with young adults, helping them to find career pathways and giving them a holistic approach. So they do things, whether that's personal development, professional development. And what Clark is doing is partnering with them to talk about career opportunities. So last week, we talked about healthcare. So we talked to students about what Clark has in the healthcare field, what opportunities, what does our program look like. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be talking about dental. And so our goal is to partner with them to talk about how our areas of studies link to different careers. And then also talking about Clark College at a high level, the student experience and giving them a virtual tour. And then as well as, because we are in a pandemic right now, finding out what students need, finding out what young adults need. Education and everything is great, but right now some people really need help with mentorship, really need help navigating through this difficult time for many, right? And so how can we still talk about education, but also meet students where they are? And so that is another partnership that we are trying to work with Next as well. So Next is great. I encourage people to look into that program if they are ages 16 to 24 and maybe high school hasn't worked out for them in the way that they envisioned. This is another opportunity.
Aside from Next, Clark College is super involved in our high schools, and I always see a presence of Clark College at our high schools. I think a lot of high school students don't understand the career connection that community colleges have, and maybe they think they can just do their general education there. But being at Clark College's campus, I mean, you guys have an international relations department. There's foreign exchange students there. There's the auto department, dental, like you said. How do you let the high school students know it's so much more than GE?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do have our recruiters, we have career advisors who do a really great job on explaining to students that Clark is more than that. We have a lot of opportunities. We have a lot of different pathways that we can take. That a student can take that can lead to different career opportunities. We are definitely trying to be even more intentional with that and going into some of the high schools to make sure that students not only know that they can join our CTE programs, our nursing programs, our dental programs, our business programs, but that they can also think about careers that may be outside of the box. And this can be a stepping stone to get there. And so those are things like our career exploration event is something that we are working on to have, where we take our areas of studies and lead them up, connect them with jobs. And so the jobs may look, for example, maybe you like automotive and you want to be in that field in terms of you want to be around cars, you want to be around the industry, but maybe you don't want to work on cars. Maybe you want to be an operations manager or anything like that. But a business degree can lead to that opportunity. But how can we make sure that students can envision that, that they can see that, they can take the things that they're passionate about and make a little twist on it, and have a very lucrative career doing so. But I definitely would say that, you want to do something that you're passionate about and something that you care about, and that'll change over time, right? But how do we continue to create those opportunities and those experiences for students? And so, like I said, we have great advisors and recruiters who work daily on talking to students about different opportunities. I also, as I'm hearing different things, I try in the community, as I'm being intentional about getting together with different businesses, that I'm bringing that back and letting people know at Clark College, like this is also an opportunity too. So make sure that our students know about that, or if jobs or any type of program that I'm able to partner with or to learn more about is something that I'm definitely always trying to share with others. And again, trying to be in the high schools, talking to students more regularly, more than about just college, but also about like careers. So that they can start exploring their options, exploring what do they really like, what are you really interested in, and how can we help you get there?
And I know our high schools have great career centers, and so does Clark College, where students can take self-assessments and get just, you don't know what you don't know. I don't know if you had any idea. Did you have any idea what you wanted to do when you were in high school?
Kind of. I'm not doing it, but kind of. So when I was in high school, I definitely wanted to be a journalist.
Mhm.
And I just thought that that was what I really wanted to do. I would say it was between being a journalist and a nurse. And so, but then when I did go away to college and everything, I did do communications, worked in radio. And then I did an internship at a news station. I was like, oh no, girl, this is not for me. This is
If
not.
it bleeds, it leads wasn't exactly your idea of hard hitting news.
It was a lot of I'm a structured person, and so being a reporter, you need to be able to think on the fly and things like that. And so, uh, I struggled with that piece, so I didn't enjoy it in that regard. But it was a great learning experience because I really did enjoy radio, and probably because you're not seen and you can have notes and different things near you. But the thing I do think about your interests and careers over time is if I think back to when I was in high school and what I was interested in, and then what I'm doing now, there are different things that align. So I'm definitely not a reporter or anything like that, but I have opportunities like this where I do get to talk. There's a lot of different opportunities that in community engagement and outreach that I've had that I never would have thought were a part of community engagement and outreach, right? So in my career, I've just been able to do a lot of things that still kind of stem back to that piece of my passion, but it's just blossomed in a whole new way. And I think looking back, I think just if there's a lot of opportunities to explore, you can really uncover so much about yourself and what you like instead of, and you learn as you go too. But if we can create more opportunities for students to really see what's out there, to really see what opportunities are right here in their community, and also letting them know how things evolve. Because, you talk to journalists, you can talk to a lot of different people whose careers look different than what we may see when we're watching the news. There's so many things that they may do that we just don't know about. So how can we really dig deep into that, like taking again what students are passionate about and aligning that with a career, and someone really explaining like there's a whole world of opportunities in this field that we don't talk about, you know?
And it's so true that they really have to experience it and go out into the field and try stuff out. And high school and community college is a great place to do that without risk. I know our internship programs, a lot of kids think they want to do this, think they want to be an architect or think they want to be an attorney. And then when they intern, they're like, oh, that's not what I thought it was going to be. And what a better way to discover that in high school than after, 4 years of college. So I encourage our students to explore now and try and eliminate some of those things.
Absolutely.
And then, like you said, with the auto, say, I love cars, but I don't want to work on cars. If you're in that environment, you get to see all the different as departments and services that support that.
Right, exactly. And sometimes it depends on, what you're exposed to. Sometimes we just don't know. And so it's just nice to, be able to think about that, that there's a lot more that goes into sometimes what we see in a job and in a career and an opportunity.
And right now is kind of a great time to talk about Running Start. Our high schools are on a semester system, and I think Clark is on a quarter system. So how does that work? How does Running Start work if I'm a high school student? When can I start it? How do I usually find out about it?
Yeah, so Running Start, usually most students start their junior or senior year. We encourage students that, are juniors to start because they can get a 2-year degree. They're associates in those 2 years, and they'll get dual credit. We do have info nights that talk a lot about Running Start and the cost and what it means for parents. It is about $7.25 for a credit. And so total, I think they spend like $105 or so or something.
Usually a quarter.
Yeah.
And
And
normally, how much is tuition a credit?
tuition or credit, ooh, it's more than that for
Yeah,
college.
it's
It's a lot more than
significantly
that.
more.
Yeah, significantly. I don't know that off the top of my head. I apologize, but yes,
No, that's
significantly more. So this is a huge savings, and they do their best when they are creating their schedules to work with um, the high school that they attend. We do offer, bus passes, gas, everything like that, so that they can get to Clark College. But we do have our schedules out as in advance as possible. And they take about, usually most students take, I want to say, 2 to 4 classes, depending on what their workload allows them to do. And it's a lot of students enjoy it. I would say one thing that we are really trying to do is we want to encourage more students of color, more students from underrepresented groups to really consider Running Start as an option for them. It is an amazing program that can help you really uncover the college experience and just kind of experience that. Also, save money, get your
yeah.
degree, and then you can go ahead and go to a 4-year university or 4-year college of your choosing. Saves you money. So I think that's a big thing. But again, it also helps you to really decide what kind of student you want to be. College is different than high school, is one of the things. College is very different. You got to be a little bit more disciplined if you're not already and on top of everything. And I know for me, it was a transition a little bit. It was like, wait a minute, hold on.
That's a great place for students to start, especially students who need these wraparound services is with Running Start, because you're not left out there by yourself. Clark has a lot of support systems. Our high schools have support systems. For counselors, it's their job to help the student complete their schedule and forecast and make sure they're tracking for graduation. So they have somebody to help them say, okay, these are the classes that you can take. So you're not out there, just looking at this huge catalog trying to figure it out on your own.
Yes, and the one thing too about Running Start is all of our Running Start students, they do work with an advisor that does help them really do some planning. And with our program or with Guided Pathways, which is really how we'll do college, and it's making sure that all of our students that they get on the right path when they start, that that we stick with them the whole way through, so that their education does lead to completion and to jobs. And so that being one of the things that we are really pushing and working toward in making sure that our infrastructure, our frameworks, our systems are in a place to set students up for success. So if you are a Running Start student, you are paired with an advisor. That advisor is going to be with you through the 2 years that you're here, helping you with your classes. They are someone that you can lean on for support in different areas. So if you are trying to balance everything with still being a high school student and being in college, they are also going to support you and connect you with other resources as well. Another thing that, is helpful when you're a Running Start student is, again, you are saving money, but then you can also get an accurate picture of what you would need in the future in terms of financial aid.
Mm.
They can pair you with someone in financial aid to talk to discuss what your future would look like in 2 years. What financial aid would you qualify for? And I think those are very important conversations that we need to have as soon as possible, because it helps families get ready and decide, college is expensive. I know I got student loans to prove it. So, but it's helpful to talk about that early so that we can make some different decisions and that fit really what we're trying to do and where we're trying to go, and to know what the investment's going to look like. And again, I can't say it enough, but it's so important to make sure that with Running Start, it should be, everyone can qualify for Running Start. everyone can apply, everyone has access. But again, with our colleges, with our schools, and with our community, everything should be reflective. I should be able to see myself in the Running Start story just as much as I should be able to see myself in people that look like me in a job or a career. And those are the things that I really want us to think about, is like belonging. How are we making sure that everyone feels like they belong in Running Start, that they belong in Clark College, that they belong in our K through 12 schools, and that they just belong in our community and our jobs?
And like you say, everyone in Vancouver Public Schools, we have the opportunity pass as well. So every middle school and high school student can get a C-Tran pass and ride the bus. It also gives students the opportunity to work out at the Marshall Center when it's open in Furstenberg. So it's an awesome pass that the students get 100% for free while they're in Vancouver Public Schools. And like you said, Clark sounds like they have a similar program for their students as well.
Yes, I love that. Mhm.
And Running Start, I'm earning high school credits. It's dual credit. How is it different than if I take AP classes in the high school? I think a lot of parents are kind of confused.
Yeah, so the AP classes, to my understanding, are not college credit classes. And so when you are taking classes at Running Start, you are getting college credit to go toward a degree. So with the AP class, that is, I mean, those are great classes to take, but with Running Start, these are classes that you are taking that will go towards your degree.
And the AP classes are for college credit, but you do have to take an exam and it costs money at the end of each term in order to do that. And it may not transfer. Whereas these Clark College credits are going to transfer. They're good at your community college, and many high schools or many colleges, excuse me, especially in Washington, Hawaii, California, Oregon, our border states, they have Running Start articulation agreements. So you can see how these directly transfer onto that four-year university.
Right. And I think that is, I know for some people, the AP classes seem like the better option. I think some parents may even feel that because with the AP classes, they do get to stay at their school, at their high.
Right.
And so I think that that's also comes up as a concern or maybe a barrier for some because, like Hudson's Bay is right across the street from Clark College. So that's
Mhm.
very easy to get to and to go back and forth for any student. But Evergreen High School, Columbia River, Skyview, those are a bit further. So I think there's that. I think that comes into play for some students as well when they're thinking about it. And some students are not ready to leave their high school, their friends, they feel like they might be missing out on something as well. I think that that's another thing that some students may be dealing with as well. And if they're athletes or in any type of
Mm.
programs, the timing of everything. We do encourage Running Start students to think about their schedule, but also it helps when students are able to let the advisors know all of their commitments and everything that they're involved in at their high school so that we can find the best plan to help them organize their schedule so they can still kind of try to balance both. There may be something that they may have to miss out on, but our goal with Running Start is not to the goal is to get college credits and
Mhm.
set them up for success, but it is not to completely take away the high school experience. And I think sometimes when people are thinking about Running Start, they think, oh, I'm going to college, I'm going to just leave my high school completely. And that is not the total picture of it. Really, it is a program that is helping students to get a head start on college, right? But we still want them to have, somewhat of their high school experience, but also be able to graduate from high school with some college credits and be able to, transfer right into a school, but also have that 2-year degree already. And that can open up so many doors for them as well.
And students can just put their toe in the water. They don't have to go all the way into Running Start. They can just take one course and take 5 classes at the high school and get a feel for what it's like. So I really encourage students to check out Running Start. It's a phenomenal program, and it is going to help prepare you for those next steps, whether it be career or a university.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
One of the other things I was going to ask you, Karen, is about parent involvement with Running Start. So if a high school student, they're going to have support from their parents, they're going to have support from the counselors at Clark College and at the high school, but it really is up to the student to stay on task and to be in communication with their professors. It's not like they're not teachers, they're working with the professors and instructors at Clark College, right?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. So it's really, that is, yes, the ownership is really going to be on the students. So once they do get in Running Start, it'll be on them to stay focused, to show up for class, to communicate with their professors. I don't know any professors that are going to call parents. Um, they are going to, treat them like college students. And so, yeah, so it is on them. And I think it's an adjustment for some students, right? Especially for some parents who are very, very hands-on and things like that. It looks a little bit different, but it also gives them an opportunity to become a little bit more independent and disciplined in some areas. And so, as we're talking, I'm just thinking about my own college experience, but it's more, you learn more than, you get more out of it than just an education. You grow up in different ways that are helpful to who you may become in the future. And so you learn a lot of different things about yourself. And so that's a big piece of it, is that, okay, I got to take ownership over these
Yeah.
classes and stay in touch with this professor. They're not going to send my grades to my parents. They're going to send them to me. So, that's a lot of students, I think, can benefit very greatly from a little bit more independence.
Yeah, definitely. It does make students autonomous, and it really empowers them to make the experience what they want it to be. But it is I don't want to say a bureaucracy, but you do have to persevere through it. And Clark has a lot of great support systems, from Zooming from 10 to 2. I think you can just jump on with enrollment services, or the bookstore, or whoever you need to get support from. And it's pretty awesome how fast you can get in touch with somebody face to face and try and work out any issue that you may be having.
Yes, exactly. I think in some ways, with having Zoom and all of these virtual options, it has made it more accessible
Yeah.
to people who it wasn't before. And I think that's huge, right? And I think it gives everyone this opportunity to really make sure that this is a decision for them, but to talk to people about different things, to get the support and the resources that they need, because we have a lot of virtual events and virtual open hours for different things around the college. You're right, there always is someone to talk to. And it's a lot, to me, it feels like things are a little bit more immediate. Um,
Mhm.
because we can kind of just jump on right now and get to business. Remove that barrier for some parents who may not have the time to come up to the college to speak
Yeah.
with enrollment services, or to speak to someone or anything like that. This has definitely simplified things a little bit more for people. So yeah, you're right. We have a lot of resources.
So that's great. We want everyone to know that Running Start is a program for everyone. Students should start investigating whether that's something they want to do when they're in the 10th grade, because you can start as early as your junior year in high school. You don't have to finish Running Start with an associate's degree. You can get in there and you're taking high school classes that are going to count as college credits as well. So there's articulation agreements to where these courses meet the requirements of a college class, and they also meet the requirements of your high school graduation. And you're working with your counselor to figure that all out. So we want students to know about Running Start. We want them to get involved. Karen Foster there for you at Clark College. If you need to know how to enroll or you want more information, is Guided Pathways a program students would get involved in, Karen, or is that more a shell that your department runs under? And then if students need additional support, need to go see an advisor?
Yeah, so guided pathways is more as a framework of how the college overall will operate and how we will do things. So it's really focusing on just making sure that our students, that as soon as they get step foot on our campus, step foot, whether that's virtually or in real life, that they there's a sense of belonging, that they get on the right path, that every classes that they're taking are the right classes that they're taking, that they can stay on their career journey, their educational journey, finish, complete their education, and then move into a career. And so if any student wants to learn more about Clark College, anything about Clark College, I'm happy to help. If I cannot help, I can point you in the right direction, connect you with the right person to help you with that. So I can be reached at kfoster, Foster, at clark.edu.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today, Karen. It's been really informative, and I hope we get a lot of students interested in Running Start and reaching out to Clark College.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It was great to be here.